my Area 51 line. You're on the air. Hello.
Welcome to the Blondes and Booze Paranormal Podcast, where what you've known as reality will be shattered by the truth. Krista and Brandy will lift the veil from your eyes, revealing what has either been hidden or denied you for eons. Hey!
Hey. Happy Friday.
You too.
So just let everybody know, keep Brandy and her family in your prayers. Her mom had to get taken to the emergency room. So as a lot of you guys know, she's been sick and having a rough go. So Tex is playing Brandy tonight.
I am.
You are.
I'm prettier than she is.
So we appreciate everybody being here. And happy Friday, Tex. How was your day?
You know, it was good. I'm settling into the new job and everything, and it's having to learn a lot, you know. So it's always cool, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of things at play. So it's weird just sitting behind a desk. I'm not used to that.
So your new job, you sit behind a desk?
I am officially a desk jockey. Yeah.
Wow. You do
I have been put out to pasture.
Yeah. Oh man, sometimes you just have to put your stuff down though and go walk around. I do, because you sit too long. I do at work, so I'll make some trips around the building.
It's funny because in my office, we have a stairmaster, a yoga ball, Pilates ball, whatever it is, those big air balls, a cornhole tournament thing, and
wow, that sounds cool.
A dartboard and a what is it? What is it? Damn it, treadmill.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is there somebody there that's just like real health conscious or something, or the
whole company is?
Oh wow, that's cool though. I would use that stuff if I were you.
Yeah, we got there's two workout rooms, two more workout rooms besides the stuff we've got. They got all kinds of stairmasters. They got a ping pong table, they got a foosball table, they got a pool table.
You work for Google? Because I heard Google is like that. Their offices are like that.
It's a lot like Google. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just put it that way.
Gotcha.
I went downstairs. I was kind of roaming around. I went to the big break room. And it's a really cool setup but anyway, I get down off the elevator and I've never been in this part of the building before. The elevator door is open, and there's like 40 tricycles and bicycles lined up against the wall.
Wow.
To get around the building, because the building's about 1 million square feet.
So you can ride a tricycle around the building? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, a 3-wheel bike, yeah.
That's just lazy. I'm just saying. If you can't walk around your building.
Well, you got to remember. These guys are carrying tools. They're working on stuff. They're carrying equipment in around 1 million square foot building. You know,
big building.
That's a big building. Know. So, yeah, but and this guy came tooling. I was looking at all the tricycle and bicycles and stuff, and I hear ching ching. Look over to my right. Here comes this guy. I'll be damned.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. Yeah, my work. Our building's not that big, but I do have to get up and walk around because I do get tired of sitting all day. Although I got my exercise today because this week, my boss, she gave me a lot of extra added jobs the last 2 days because we're having a lot of people know that I work for a community action agency, and we help the less fortunate people. And so we're having this big fair on Tuesday at a local library. And so, man, I've been having to make copies and signs and all kinds of stuff for her. So I got my exercise in today because I kept running back and forth to the big printer, So I got my exercise in today.
Yeah, K-Dog, I'm sorry, man.
What?
It's like losing a member of the family. His dog passed away today.
Oh, I'm sorry, K-Dog. Yeah, that just sucks.
Yeah.
I've lost several myself. And it's it's awful. Awful. They are members of the family, aren't they?
They are. Fur babies.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's sad. I'm very sorry. Truly, truly sorry. Man, this is just a sad night with Brandy and now K-Dog's dog. Jeez.
I know.
Yeah. Said he was 15.
15 years, man. He had a good life, though.
Yeah.
He was 15 years old. He had a good life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy. So anyway, I thought we would, Brandy and I had discussed last night talking about the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival and then just whatever else. So I guess we can start with that and show y'all a few pictures.
Yeah, because I haven't seen these pictures. I haven't got to really talk to y'all about the festival or anything. So that's going to be, I think it'll be cool.
Okay. So first thing I need to say is that the whole Island of Misfits, we all need to be there next year.
Yep.
Every one of us. Yep. And it was fantastic. It really was. It was one of my top 3 conferences. I can say that. Really was. It was good.
Number 1 is yet to happen. That's going to happen in September.
Well, Dogman Conference, that was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
It was, no doubt.
There was a lot of people. I did enjoy that one. And I enjoyed the Kling Brothers. They always put on a good one. And I really enjoyed this one. But, okay, so I'm just going to start out by showing you kind of the layout here. So, well, actually, let's back up. Friday night. So Paul and I, we carpooled together. Well, actually, I ride. Paul drives. And we left out of here relatively, the day just started out really crappy because I was on my way to his house and I stopped at a gas station and I got rear-ended.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a truck and a trailer rear-ended me. So that's how my day started.
That's not good.
I know, right? So to make a long story short, end up getting over to Paul's and I didn't have really any damage on my car, just a couple scratches. So it really wasn't a big deal.
Well, that's good.
I didn't turn it into the guy's insurance or none of that. I got his information, but I didn't because I'm not that person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, so we get in Paul's car and everything's going great, man. We leave and we hit Illinois. Well, Illinois is full of road work. So it's down the highways is like 100 miles of highway, 1 lane. And some of it stopped. Oh yeah, it was awful. So by then we're both bitching because of the road, So then we make it in through Kentucky. Everything's cool all the way through Kentucky. It's great. Get into Tennessee. It's going really good until we hit Nashville. Nashville. Oh my God. It started downpouring, literally so bad that you couldn't even see out the windows. And it downpoured we were 3 hours out from Townsend, from Nashville, and it downpoured the whole 3 hours.
Wow.
So what was a 70-mile-an-hour highway, Paul was doing, and that's all he could do. I mean, he's got a Jeep that's lifted. And so, he didn't want a hydroplane or anything, but I mean, even in a normal car, you wouldn't have wanted to go very fast. So he was doing about 50. So we did. So what should have taken us an 8-hour trip took us 10 and a half hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was just awful. It was awful. So anyway, we make it down there and it's pouring down rain, right? And so we wanted to make it because Greg was showing the Land Between the Lakes film. Right. And so I find out where he told me he was going to be. We go there and nobody's there. We're like, okay. So I call Greg. He's like, oh, we're right down the road because of the rain. I'm like, okay. So we go on down the road and it's still pouring, hard pouring. And
Right.
we go up there, and it's like a pavilion type thing, but it didn't have any sides, and everything was getting wet. So they decided to cancel the film that night.
Right.
So, and I get it, I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
electronics,
no
you
doubt.
can't do that. So, but while I was there, we were seeing everybody, talking to everybody, and Turtle Man was there. Turtle Man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he, I had to go talk to him, and he's funny because when he talks, his like, yee, that he does, that thing.
Yeah.
Like he's mid conversation and talking and go, yee, and then he'll start talking again, yee. True story. He does that. It was just kind of like me and Paul were looking at each other like, okay. But anyway.
Well, it's a nervous tick he's actually got.
Is it?
Well, I guess that's what it sounds like.
Well, I don't know because I don't know. I don't really know. So anyway, we hung out that night with him and Swamp Man.
Yeah.
And Greg Ogles and Adam Davey, a bunch of them were all there. So anyway, we end up, next day comes early. So we all go to hotel rooms. Brandy, she also hit the rain, and she didn't get in until after midnight.
Ooh.
Yeah. So of course she got in, and, I had just kind of dozed off when she got in. So of course I had to get up, and we talked for a while.
Oh,
and so, yeah, you know how girls are. And so we talked.
I know how y'all are.
Yeah. So, so we finally made it to bed. So the next day is the conference. And it was only a half mile from where we stayed, which was kind of nice, gotta say.
Yeah.
And it was muddy, but it wasn't terrible. I have to tell you, it was an outdoor festival. They had, they put straw down and stuff, so it wasn't terrible. And once again, fortunately, Paul has a Jeep, so we didn't have to worry about getting stuck or anything. And then Brandy just hopped in with us, so it worked out pretty well. And so we got our tents and everything up, and so we were along. I'll show you a picture here of where we were here. So there's a picture here up, and it says Lamar Alexander Parkway right there. You see that road there? Okay, so we were just right there along that fence. See, like where the orange and stuff is? That's where we were. Okay. Yeah. So we were let me go back to that picture. So the big green area here in the middle, that is the main tent. We were directly behind the main tent. So the speakers, we were right there.
Nice.
Which is really cool. Hold on one second. Hold on. Somebody thought our show goes on at 8, but tonight at 7. Anyway, so like I said, the speakers, they go to and from, and they come out, and there we were. And so there was only, let me see, 1, 2, there was only 5 podcasters there. That's it.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was only 5 podcasters there, and one of them was us, and one of them was Paul. So that was pretty cool. And then I had never met. We were set up right next to Paranormal 411, and it was them 2 guys, and then the one guy's wife. And so we made friends with them. And anyway, to make a long story short, they're actually going to come on the show and stuff. And they ended up, I invited them out with us Saturday night. You know how we always have fun after parties? Oh, yeah. Well, I invited them with us. And so they had wanted to meet Turtle Man, which we thought, since Turtle Man, he so that night before, he gave me his phone number. Turtle Man did, because I asked him. I said, you got to come over and get your picture taken with Brandy. And I told him and Swamp Man, and he's like, well, my bodyguards. He said they kind of keep me well rounded. And I'm like, your bodyguards? And he's like, people flock to me. So I really thought, okay, yeah, right, whatever. Oh my God! So he said, text me when in the morning. So when he was up there and his speech was getting ready to be done, so I did. I texted him. I said, hey, we're right behind you, and so he ended up coming over, and he was right with the bodyguard. And I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating when I say 30 people followed him.
Yeah.
Seriously, like 30 people followed him, which was cool for us because Brandy's like, hey, you subscribe to Blonde the Booze. And
right.
But so anyway, they came back and took pictures with Brandy and I. And I will show you that picture. So here's a picture of me and Brandy and Swamp Man and Turtle Man. So yeah. Yes, they're very nice. And so that was fun. And then, so the guys next to us, it was funny. He really wanted to meet Turtle Man. He was pretty excited. I was like, hey, I got you. I'll send him over to you. So I did. I told him, I was like, this guy next door here he's really a big fan of yours, wants to meet you. So he did. He was real nice, went right on over there to him and that kind of thing. So that was fun. So then I'm trying to think now. So the other guy that was next door, he said he really wanted to meet Martin Groves. I'm like, oh man, I got you. I got the hookup. I'll hook you up with Martin Groves. So of course, him being a friend. So after Martin got done, I introduced him to Martin Groves. So he was pretty excited. So here's a picture of me and Brandy and Martin Groves.
Ah, man, we look more like every day.
Yeah, I know, right? So Martin is the best. He really is. He's such a good guy.
Great guy.
And then, yes. And then you know this person. So we have a friend, and she helps Greg Ogles in his films, and it's Janice. And so there's one picture here with me and Janice and Martin Groves that she took. So that's Janice. And Janice, I think she'll be on our show June 5th.
Janice is awesome.
She is awesome. And she gets out in the woods all the time too. She's one that is definitely a boots on the ground girl. She is always out in the woods. So anyway, so another one here I wanted to show you guys is Tex. You know this guy.
I do know that feller.
Mr. Adam Davies. So he's a lot of fun. A lot of people might recognize him. He's on every.
Brandy looks scared.
It's Adam.
Oh,
Wouldn't you be
never
scared?
mind, it's Adam.
Come on now.
Adam.
No, but he's actually a very, very nice guy and a lot of fun. And he's a lot of fun, as you know, Tex.
I need to holler at him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't texted him in a while. I need to text him, see what he's up to.
Yeah. Doggy. My dog's trying to get in the screen. Anyway, but yeah, Adam's a good guy. He was it's a lot of fun to hang out with. Hoss, please go. He's getting me all slimy. My dog is. I got a 200-pound dog that just drank and he's got slime. It's gross. And then let me see here. Who else can we? Okay. So a lot of you guys know this gentleman, Mr. Harley Owens.
Absolutely.
He came on the show and he's super, super nice guy. You will not meet a nicer guy than Harley. Seriously. He's a very, very nice guy. And it was really, really pretty cool to meet him in person. And then let's see. This is we took a picture of Greg out there getting his doing his spiel. He was one of the speakers there. And this was the after party. Greg's feeling pretty good at the after party. Can you tell?
Mr. Dogman Eye Candy himself.
Yeah, he was feeling really good at the after party, I'll tell you. So, and then this is a picture of a bunch of us. So you can kind of see all of us in there. It was a good time. Really a lot of fun.
Oh, there's Mike and Mary Lynn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. They were there. I got more pictures here too, because I'm missing some. And hold on. Yeah, Mike and Mary Lynn. Yeah. Let me find that picture because I meant to put that one in.
I saw the one you had, Brandy.
Yeah. I'm going to put that one up too.
That was funny.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. So let me see. Okay. So Brandy and I, we found Bigfoot.
Awesome.
Everybody can rest assured he's real. There he is. We found him. He was at the restaurant with us. So then, okay. So this picture here, I want to watch chat because I want you guys to tell me. I want you guys to caption this picture. And there's a backstory to it here. So Brandy and I were actually in bed. She was in her bed. I was in mine. We had to knock at the door. And there is Mike from Para with the Norm and knocking on our door with that on. What do you guys think?
Oh, Mikey.
Yes. So he's a hoot. I mean, seriously, he is so much fun. It's a shame. Yeah. So Mike and Mary Lynn, they are also sponsors to the Crossing Realms Conference.
Yes.
They are. Yes. And then, but unfortunately, Mike's not going to be there, but Mary Lynn will be there.
Right. She's actually the one doing the gallery reading.
She is doing the gallery reading. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, that was funny. Like he just come over to show us that. And Brandy and I were about to sleep. I know, right? Isn't that hilarious? And just look at Brandy's face though. I mean, that's what makes it priceless.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. We had so much fun. And like I said, next year, the whole Island of Misfits needs to go.
Barbara says, address the elephant in the room.
Yeah. Miranda says he was happy to see you. So it was hilarious. Oh my gosh. So Mickey says,
an elephant in your pants and you just happy to see you?
Yes. Paul says, puts a new twist on Socks Puppets. So it was just funny, but you guys got to understand, Mike, that's just him. It truly is.
Absolutely.
That is him. That is him all the time. He's a big kid at heart. He really is.
Yeah. And he's got a heart of gold too.
Yeah.
Him and Marilyn both.
Nice guy. Yeah. That night, you seen the picture with all the people, they bought appetizers for everybody.
Oh, awesome.
And you've seen how many people was there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. We were all there together. A lot of people. So a bunch of us. But yeah, it was such a good time. And then there's one more here. Let me find it. So we also, Greg Ogles, he has, he's doing another film. It's on the Missing 411, and Adam Davies is also in it. And, Janice and all of the whole crew, and Fisher Spam is now his helping him instead because Brent kind of taking a hiatus. So we had fun. We met Cheryl and Natalie Friday night, and we hung out with them both nights. They were a lot of fun, and they're part of Greg's crew as well. So it was really, really good meeting the both of them and hanging out. And we just all really, really had a great time. We really did. So, and those ladies will be on the show soon too, because they are actually, they get out in the field.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. They are not keyboard warriors. And, last night we had Ashley Stinnett come on the show. And, I think we need more women out there doing this.
I agree.
So that's why I'm all about it. And Janice is going to come on. And so that's why we've been booking a lot of women to come on the show. So
I'm glad y'all are, because it's nice to see, because this has been such a sausage fest for so long.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, we just, and they're really, really good people, and they do good work. And that's why I think it's just, it's awesome. And so Miranda says, Tex, would you wear elephant PJs?
I'll wear just about anything.
Would you wear those elephant PJs? Tex, you're not answering.
You know what? I'm full of comments, but I am not going to utter a word.
That's funny. That's too funny. So anyway, it was a fun time, and that's it. I mean, the Tennessee Smoky Mountains are beautiful, and I'm ready to go back. So I can't wait until next year. It's a beautiful town. The only thing though, I will tell you, and this was weird. So the whole town of Townsend, I kid you not. So when Paul and I got there on Friday night, it was like, I don't know, 8:00. It wasn't too late. And there was no cars around, no lights on in businesses, no nothing. We're like, man, for a town that's supposed to have 10 to 12,000 people come through on a festival tomorrow, there's nobody in this town. So Saturday night, we went to that restaurant/bar. And the lady there told us, she said, well, we close at 8:00 and we're the only bar in town. And she said, but if you guys behave yourself, we'll just stay open. We're like, 8:00 on a Saturday night, you close? She said the whole town does.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole town shuts down. Yes, Mickey, smaller than Richmond. Yeah, at least Richmond will stay open to bar time. Not this town. So yeah, we behaved ourselves and they stayed open for us. So.
Well, it's probably a good thing I wasn't there then.
Yeah, because you don't behave yourself sometimes, Tex.
No,
I've been around you when you've been drinking.
I like to have a good time.
Yeah, we all do. It was a lot of fun, though. It was a lot of fun. So I don't know. It was just, I just can't believe the town, though. And then, like, the next day, like, they expected, I know, like 10 to 12,000 people, and it was jam-packed there. It was packed. So, like, that whole town just, like, came alive that morning. It was crazy.
Well, that's why they shut down at 8:00. Everybody had to get the rest for the next day.
I guess. So yeah, it was a good time though. So anyway, until next year.
Yes. Count me in on next year.
Yeah. So I will definitely message Greg and tell him the whole Island of Misfits wants to come next year. So this was kind of a Greg deal. We were invited by Greg, and so that was really cool. Mm-hmm. So, and then, you know, we met a lot of cool people. Let me think about this now. Smoky Mountain Wanderer. Let me tell you about him. So he came up and he hung out with us and he helped us because at the end of the day, a big wind came up. He helped hold our tents down. And then he not only helped hold our tents down, but he helped us pack our stuff up too. And let me tell you, so Mary Lynn and Mike had a tent that was kind of like had a screen around it.
Right.
And they couldn't figure out how to put it up. And it took Smoky Mountain Wanderer, Paranormal Paul, Mike, the three of them, probably a good 15 minutes to figure out how to put this little tent away, put it back in its box. Mary Lynn shot video. So you might be able to see that on their show because it was hilarious. Funny. It was funny, and and it's kind of misty, raining, and so it was funny. But Smoky Mountain Wanderer was there. It was great to meet him, and then Michelle Bass, she was there. It was great to meet her. Pancho Zorch, he was there. South Force.
Pancho's everywhere.
Yeah, Pancho goes everywhere, but and then South Force 10, he was there, came up and met us. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry if I miss anybody that was there and I don't mention your name. I'm brain dead. I'm brain fried. But it was great meeting everybody. And we met a lot of new people too, Yeah. So, yeah, it was a great turnout, Mickey. It absolutely was. And the people from Mountain Monsters were all there. All those guys. And I didn't know it, but the two guys were there the night before at Greg's. And I shook hands with the one guy. I didn't know that's who he was though, but it was a big guy with the long beard.
Oh yeah. Huckleberry?
Yes.
Was it Huckleberry? Yeah.
Yes. And I didn't even recognize him because they said it was his real name. And so I was like, hey, I'm Krista, and I shook his head and introduced him and went on. I didn't know that.
I've heard they are the nicest guys you ever want to meet.
Yeah. Absolutely. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. And Turtle Man and Swamp Man's going to be on the show.
Nice.
And so that'll be fun. Yeah. So anyway, and then hey, my buddy Aaron's is in chat. Everybody say prayers for her too. She's been really sick. Like she just got out of the hospital.
Wow.
So, and she's a very dear friend of mine. So yes. Anyway, and hopefully she's feeling well enough. I get to see her tomorrow because I am going to the Ray County Museum.
Awesome.
Yeah. Too bad you're not around, Tex. You'd like the museum.
I know.
But come September, you'll get to go.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll tell you what. I have already put in for the time off at work, and it's already been approved.
Good deal. What day are you planning on coming?
I don't know yet, because I don't know I don't know who or if anyone's going with me. So
gotcha.
Let's figure that out first.
Gotcha. Well, you got to be there Thursday night because that's going to be our fun night.
Oh, I'll be there Thursday night.
Friday and Saturday are work days. We got to work.
I could leave as early as Sunday.
There you go.
So, but I don't know. Like I said, depends on who's going with me is how early I head out. Because if I don't have anybody going with me, I'm heading out on my time, and that's going to be early. So, because if I can get up early enough, I want to go, do some exploring.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I plan on being there. I'm going to go up like Tuesday and hang out with Aaron, that's in chat, and Kathy for a day or so and just kind of visit with them and relax. And then I think I told Rob, he don't know if he's going to fly into St. Louis. If he does, I told him he's got to fly in on Tuesday and then go with me. Or if he flies into Kansas City, it could be Wednesday. So, yeah. Mickey says, I have news to tell you later, Blondes and Booze and text, but not on here when you have time. Mickey, you're welcome to give me a call or message me after the show. For sure. Yeah. Anyway, so our conference text we got coming up. We got a lot of people coming, don't we?
We do. We do.
We do.
It is a who's who of the paranormal, cryptid, and UFO world.
It is. It's going to be a great time. So I'm looking forward to that too.
There, and the thing about there's so much stuff to do. That's I mean, and you really don't have to make. I mean, we want you to make the whole thing, okay? Mm-hmm. But we understand life happens. If you can only get up there for Friday, or if you can only get up there for Saturday, don't worry about it, because you're gonna be able to interact with everybody.
Everybody. Mm-hmm. All of us.
Yeah.
All of us and then some.
Yeah, because to get in where the vendors are at and everything is free. All the speakers are going to have a table. All the special guests are going to be there. So, and you're going to have, we got the thing the night before, So, yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
It is. It absolutely is. Yep. And actually, we were just talking with Martin Groves last weekend about it. And, Martin's coming. And he actually, after he did his speaking presentation at the Smoky Mountain Conference, he announced our conference. So
wow.
Really, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's awesome. I just love him. He's just a great man.
Martin, I mean, he's such a good heart guy. He really is.
He absolutely is. Yes. So anyway, but yeah, tomorrow night I will not be on with Paranormal Paul. He has Greg Ogles on tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a good show, but I will be at the museum. I'm going to try to hit it with, try to be on with BMR and Monica and you and Brandy, whoever from the museum. So
yeah, I plan on being there tomorrow night. So
okay, yeah, I'm going to try to. By then, we break down into groups and stuff. So yeah. It's my group, Haunted Soulz. It's their event they're doing at the museum. So we've got attendees coming and that good stuff. So
yeah, we kind of did our Mother's Day thing last weekend.
Yeah.
So we're not, and because if you try to go out and eat somewhere this weekend,
I know, right?
And I am not one to wait in line for a restaurant. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, you know what? I totally forgot it's Mother's Day on Sunday. I wasn't even thinking about it because I'll be gone.
I'm probably going to cook for the girls and
There you go.
I think my oldest daughter and my son-in-law may come over. They were talking about doing some barbecue, so we may do that. But that's about all.
Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
And next Wednesday or Thursday, get this.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be 100 degrees down here.
Already?
Yeah.
You can keep it down there, Tex. I've been in
with
Texas.
all this rain we've had, can you imagine? It's going to be like Houston down here.
Yeah.
Ugh. Houston's horrible, by the way, if you don't know that.
Yes. Well, I guess it was the Dogman conference. It was pretty hot and humid then. And that was like, what, Memorial or Labor Day weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Labor Day.
Yeah.
That was mild weather.
So yeah, that was pretty miserable.
I'm hoping we get lucky and have kind of a mild summer, but I don't know, man. It's already turning triple digits, and it's not.
You all keep it. Don't send it to Missouri.
Ugh.
I will tell you. So September when we do our conference, so it should be decent. The extreme heat should be over, but not yet the super cold. So
right. Well, and because it's a later part of September, so we're on that cooling off part anyway. So
right. So yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. So anyway, what do you got going on, Tex? You got anything new? You got any stories you want to tell?
Oh man, I will be. Everything's falling into place. Mm-hmm. So in the next, by the end of the month, we should have the underwater fossil hunt / investigation from Dogman Ranch up on the air.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go dive in that creek down there. It's got all the fossils, and it's the deep holes have got shelves on them that go back under. So, but the holes themselves are only about 8, maybe 8 foot deep. And as long as we don't get rained out, because if that creek's running, you can't do it.
Right.
The current, you get killed. But if that holds off, and I'm able to do it, I'll be And I haven't been wet in so long. I'm jonesing for a dam to go diving. I just really am.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Barbara asked, "Are you diving with the camera?"
Yes.
Wow.
Is there filming the whole time I'm underwater? Yes.
So what's the water like? Is it murky or is it? It is
crystal clear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, crystal clear. That's why we're doing this.
So I have a question. Up in your area, are there alligators?
Oh yeah, there's alligators in every lake here in Texas now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And
you're still going to?
But we don't get them right back in the creeks like this because this is a real small creek, and if they were around, we could tell. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
The biggest thing you got to worry about is water moccasins.
Yeah. So here in Missouri, we don't have alligators, fortunately, and we have lots of rivers that people float and do all that kind of good stuff. So I couldn't imagine having to worry about alligators because I like going into the rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. Now, back when I was growing up, we didn't have gators like we do now. They hadn't made it up here a lot.
Really?
Yeah, but now they're in every lake in Texas.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Because I know, like, they're in Texarkana. I wonder how far up into Arkansas and stuff they go up into. I
don't know. I don't know where the line is they start because I know we got gators in Mississippi. And like I said, East Texas, you got gators,
Gary says they're in Oklahoma now.
Yeah. See, so they're headed north. It's just ones that, where they hit that temperature they don't like.
Yeah. Which they won't come to Missouri. It gets too cold here, I think.
Yeah.
We get too cold. Yeah. Which I'm glad. I don't want them here.
I mean, but they can. I mean, they're known to survive freezing weather. They'll stick their nose up out of the water and go into hibernation mode.
Wow.
You know. But yeah. So, but if it gets too cold, it'll kill them.
Yeah.
So.
It gets really cold here, though. You know, we get the snow and we get the you know, single digit temperatures.
Yeah, we don't get that much down here. We get it's pretty rare to see single digits. I mean, we'll see teens, but you know, not very often.
Right.
You know, we had Snowmageddon a few years ago that just wrecked Texas. I mean, we had snow on Galveston Beach, for God's sake.
Right.
I mean, that's nuts, right? And it was, and we had all kinds of pipes break at work, and I was at work when it happened. And we were outside having to strip, you know, wet insulation in, you know, 1 degree weather off of frozen pipes, you know, and it was just horrible. But
yeah. Wow. Yeah, no thanks. Want to let everybody know too, if you guys got any questions or a topic or something you want to talk about, just drop it in chat. And if we know about it, we'll talk about it on text.
Absolutely. If I don't have an opinion on it, I'll ask Krista.
That's right. The same thing. If I don't, well, so be it. You mentioned you guys have like the water moccasins and stuff. We have those here too.
No,
and yeah,
they're all over the country.
Yeah, and then we have as far as venomous snakes, we have the cottonmouths, which is the water moccasins, and then we have the copperheads, and then we have pygmy rattlesnakes. And then we have one kind of the big rattlesnakes, but not a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
So that's all we have.
We have multiple different types of rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
We have copperheads, water moccasins, and the rarest one we have in Texas. It's the most venomous, and it's called the coral snake.
Okay. And what does that look like?
Okay, so you have a coral snake and you have a king snake. The coral snake's venomous. The king snake's not. The king snake actually eats other snakes.
Right.
And there's a way, but they look very, very much alike. And there's a saying on how to tell them apart. And their bands are red and yellow and black, you know. And if it's red and black together, no, it's red and yellow, kill a fella. Red and black, friend of Jack.
Okay.
So
interesting.
You know, if you decide to wait around long enough to figure out which one it is.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'm glad you told me that because, yeah, they sound pretty though. Like they're pretty snakes.
Oh, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we don't have those here. Thank goodness.
And copperheads, the thing about copperheads is a lot of times copperheads, you can smell them before you see them. They have a real strong musty odor, you know.
Yeah. They say like they smell like cucumbers.
Oh, I don't think they smell like cucumbers at all. I think they smell nasty. But I don't like cucumbers. So there you go.
I like cucumbers.
But it's a real heavy musk, you know.
Yeah.
That's the only snake I've ever been poisoned by was a copperhead.
You got bit by one?
No, I didn't get bit by one.
Good
I did it my own damn self. We had the kids up at my sister's house back when they were younger, and we were walking out. They wanted to go pet the new calves, right? So we were walking out to the pasture, and the copperhead hit my brother-in-law's boot, and he stomped its head in. Well, I picked it up. I was going to show the kids, you know, what to look for, how they smell the whole yard. I didn't think about that I had a cut on my thumb.
Oh, yeah.
And when he stomped its head, it busted the venom sac. So I got the poison in that cut. So, and everybody was panicking. Oh, we got a good emergency room. I ain't going to no damn emergency room, you know. Thumb swelled up. You know, I squeezed it out as much as I could. Thumb swelled up a little bit, turned red and purple, but it was good.
Yeah. They say, you know, a copperhead, the bites, you know, aren't good, but chances are you'll survive a copperhead.
Yeah. 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 I had
however. No.
I lost a Saint Bernard to a copperhead though.
I lost an English Mastiff to a water moccasin.
No.
It was sad. I lived down in Thayer, Missouri, which is right on the Missouri-Arkansas line. And we had 50 acres and we had the horse farm and I raised alpacas, the whole 9 yards. But I had a pond that this one dog I had, she loved to go and just stand in it and cool off. Right. And so she'd done it for several years, nothing ever happened. And it happened to be a weekend that we had a horse show. We had a big horse show that weekend. And she went in that pond, and I know that's what it was. She got bit by a water moccasin. And so, and like I said, we showed horses at the time. So we had to leave. Fortunately, my daughter's, her old boyfriend, he lived close. And so he was going to take care of her and the horses and everybody while we were gone. And so he had, we stayed in touch with him. He said, she's doing okay. She's drinking, she's eating. So that was like on a Thursday. We came home Sunday and she, was still laying around, but her head was sitting up and stuff. And let me back up too, because when this first happened, I called the vet and they didn't have any anti-venom. Right. So he's like, it's 50-50, just do this, this, and this. Yeah. And at the time I didn't know anything about it. So anyway, so we come home on that Sunday, she was still alive. And her head, she would sit up and she was a big dog, English Mastiffs, they're huge dogs. And she went to bed that night and, fed her and gave her water, the whole 9 yards, and got up the next morning and my daughter found her dead. Yeah, that was sad. That was really sad.
I've had some run-ins, my share of run-ins with snakes, with water moccasins especially. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I told this story or not. I had a buddy of mine. I think I was 15, 16 years old, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was driving. I know that. So I was either 15 or 16. And they had a cow pond and they had how sometimes, they'll cut the pond in half, they'll stretch wire across the pond.
Right. Yep.
And the damn old cows had busted down the fence and the barbed wire went into the pond. Well, they needed to get it out. Well, this pond was maybe 10 feet deep, but you know how cow ponds are. You can't see that far. I mean, they're muddy and murky.
That's how this one was.
Yeah. And he's like, "What are you charging me to come over here and get this wire out of my pond?" I said, "Give me a case of beer." So I go over there and I didn't use any diving gear. I just used snorkel gear, and I'm going down there and I pulled 2 or 3 handfuls out. And I went down there planting my foot and I'm tugging on this wire. And all of a sudden I don't see nothing but cotton right off my mask.
Oh.
And I went this way and he went that way. And I about walked on water getting out of that pond. And we shot him because we knew there were snakes in the pond, right?
Yeah.
But we shot him and he was 6.5 feet long, about big around my forearm.
Wow. It was a water moccasin?
Yeah, he was huge.
Yeah.
And, if he had been just a fraction of an inch either way, he'd have got me in the face. But he hit square on my mask just like this, mouth open. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Shade Viking says, I once caught a wild hognose snake, kept it in a fish tank like a week, pushed the top up and escaped and was hiding around my room a month till I finally found it. Hognose is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a place where I used to work.
Mm-hmm.
Place where I used to work. We get snakes in the building all the time, right? And the year before last, I think I found 2 6-foot+ rat snakes, and they wanted to kill them. I'm like, "Are you nuts?
Don't kill them. Those are good ones."
Well, the first time we found one, I turned it loose outside, right out in a tree, and I think it was 2 days later, it was back in the building with a boyfriend.
Brought the family.
And yeah, literally, because when we found them, they were getting it on.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
And they wanted to kill him, and I'm like, "No, I ain't gonna kill him," So I boxed them up, and I brought them home, and me and my wife took them down to the park down here by the Trinity River, turned them loose.
Yeah,
gorgeous snakes, beautiful and huge.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, we found one time. I found a little snake about that long and about big around as a drinking straw, scooting through the lobby. They get on that tile and they can't get no traction, and they're like moving, but they ain't going nowhere, right? And so I caught him, and I had to go run and do something. So I put him in I had a big Sonic cup, and I put him in a big Sonic cup, right? Put the lid on it, and we went and did our stuff, and we come back, and the lid was off the Sonic cup, and the snake was gone in the office.
Oh my God!
And we didn't tell anybody. And we came back it was a couple of days later. I was working nights, and we was golly, I guess it was 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I sat down at the computer to do something, and he was laying across the keyboard.
That's crazy.
So, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't actually mind snakes. They don't bother me. And I don't, even if it's a venomous snake, I won't kill it because it can't help it that it's venomous. And honestly, here, like, a copperhead doesn't chase you down. They just soon you leave them alone. I mean, the only time they'll strike is if you mess with them or you step on them,
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem is a copperhead, they don't hide.
Right.
They'll right in the middle. I have found more in a damn path.
Yep, that's true. They do.
Anywhere else.
And they can blend in, if you got red dirt and stuff, yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but a copperhead's not an aggressive snake. In Missouri, what the aggressive snake is, and thank God they're not venomous, and that is a water snake. They will chase a canoe or a kayak on the river. Oh my God. Like where the water moccasins don't. They don't chase you, but the water snakes, and they're similar, but if you know the difference, like the water snakes have bands on their side there. And, and you can tell because they're head shaped, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I used to catch these, and I think we had a conversation about this on one show. I used to catch what we call ribbon snakes, and they're real pretty. They're red and green and yellow, and they got the stripes go down their body like that lengthwise, and they're real pretty, and they're black with all these like bright stripes on. And
it's kind of sounds similar to like a garter snake here, because garter snakes have the stripes that go down.
Yeah, and I think some people call them garter snakes.
Okay, yeah,
but
they are pretty.
These were water snakes. I mean, and they get. They'll get 4 feet long, but they won't be that big around.
Right.
But I caught. I used to catch them all the time when I was a kid. But one time, I was. I caught. I don't know why. I was a young dumbass kid. I killed this big old rat snake, and my sister. We lived in a trailer house, and my sister lived next door to us on our property, and she come over to the house, and I was bored, and I tied this snake fishing line on my rod and reel, and when she went in the house, I put it on the other side of the back stairs, and I went down all the way down to the end of the house and around the corner, and I could hear her going down the hallway leaving, and I start reeling that thing across the stairs like this, and about the time she opened the door, and my sister's scared to death of snakes, and she liked to, kid herself and went running down, screaming down the hallway. My dad had been my dad about half drunk. He come walking out of the back door with his shotgun, and I've got this snake hanging off the end of my rod and reel, and I'm doubled over laughing. Right, I'm a snot-nosed little kid. I'm maybe 12, 13 years old. He gave me he said, you do that crap, again, I'll shoot you instead of the snake. Scared your sister to death.
That's funny. That's too funny. Yeah, I used to not like snakes. And my first husband, my ex-husband, actually went somewhere and brought home a ball python.
Oh,
and I'm like, get that thing out of my house. I want no part of it. And he threw it on me. He's like, well, you better pick it up, move it. Yeah. So that kind of broke my fear of snakes, which is a good thing because my current husband, his middle son has always been into snakes. So when Chad was growing up, we had all kinds of snakes in the house, and he had them in aquariums and stuff, and we had everything from rainbow boas to, I don't know, we had weird snakes, but yeah, so it really broke my fear of snakes, which is a good thing. So since then, I've learned to like identify Missouri native snakes, so I can tell when I'm outside if it's a venomous or not, or what kind it is. Show me a picture of any Missouri snake, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
They're talking about the Red River in chat, and Boondock Mojo Corey says it's raging right now. You ain't lying. They've got when you go over to I-35, you go over to Brown Springs. They're about to build like a new bridge, widen the highway, all that kind of good mess, right? So they were in the process of building a temporary bridge. Now, that's what I heard. I don't know for sure, but they were in the process. They'd already sank the pylons and everything. I don't think it was going to be temporary, but anyway, they were in the process of building this bridge next to the I-35 bridge, right? The problem was somebody didn't get the memo that they get a lot of rain. And this bridge was set about 10 or maybe 20 feet lower than the other bridge is.
Oh, wow.
It's been underwater for a while since we've been getting
Wow. Wow.
I've seen several times where the Red River gets out of banks and it'll be lapping underneath the 35 bridge. You know? And yeah, it's rolling. That's when it gets into those floodplains down in Brown Springs where a lot of these critters hang out. And we've noticed when the river gets up like that, they know when something.
Oh yeah.
That they'll go over to the Texas side because that's where the high ground is, and they'll stay there. We were down at Brown Springs one time, and we could hear the critters hollering over on the Texas side of the river. Like, well, hell, they're all over there. Well, they holler at you. Well, then you hear this one lone critter over here on the Oklahoma side, evidently did not get the memo. Okay. He starts hollering back and forth. Well, you're stuck, buddy. Unless you want to go the highway.
Right. That's funny. Yeah. Whenever like the floods and stuff all come through, the animals, they just, snakes, you see a lot more of the snakes, and, their holes are all full of water. Where else do they have to go? So we Missouri recently, I won't say recently, in the last 20 years have had bear sightings, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually was fortunate. It's not something you really see very often here.
Right. And
it was several years ago. I was at my daughter's house and I was leaving, and I saw a bear. And that was pretty cool. So there's a lot of different animals that are coming back,
Right.
Is my point. And then Missouri also reintroduced elk. So now
you were telling me about that.
And
they took off too. They're really thriving from what I heard.
Yep, they are in southern Missouri. Yes, they are. They're breeding, and so anyway, which I hope they don't get to be like the deer, because there's like Werewolf, he's from Missouri. We have a bear season now.
No.
But elk, I hope they don't get as many as like deer, because deer get hit all the time, and man, you hit an elk with a car. Elk, I don't know. You're around. They're huge. They're huge.
Yeah, you're hitting a 1,000-pound animal if you hit a big
Absolutely.
Bull.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if I like the idea of that, but it's what it is.
You're talking about bear. They're down in southern Oklahoma and North Texas. They're rare. There's been actually Todd Neese had a bear sighting when he was down in Brown Springs with us. And we talked to some bow hunters that had, caught one on their camera down there, blackbird. So they're there, which just adds to everything else that wanders around down there.
Right.
Yeah. Now you got dogman, you got Bigfoot, you got bears, you got, we got coyotes, we got the occasional werewolf, pigs.
Yeah, we got the pigs too.
You know, so
Yeah.
we got everything down there. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The woods are not safe, people. The native and the not so native.
yeah, absolutely. When you go out, you are not at the top of the food chain, people. Don't be one of these idiots that tries to take a selfie with a bear or a bison. Okay, you get what you ask for. I'm just saying.
Yeah, isn't that stupid? Like, who really do they? I've seen that too, and I know what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
they're wild
And it happens
animals.
all the time. All
Yeah,
the time.
it does.
You would think that these people would see the videos and go, "Oh, well, that's not a good idea." But no, they keep doing it. They keep doing it, and they keep paying the price.
Yes, absolutely. So, real quick, and then I'll say something on that. But Smoky Mountain Wanderer says, I have to go early rise. Next year in Townsend, Tennessee, I'll have those tents for you. So he's got like a big tent that all of us can fit under, Tex.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, he's great. Yeah. So we were talking about like the buffalo and the elk, people going up to him and stuff. So I worked up in Macon, Missouri at Lally Brothers Livestock Market for a long time. Right. And we did 4 exotic sales a year, which is, the wild animals. And part of my job, I worked in the back and I worked in the warm room. And while they were running elk and buffalo through, I had to keep the alleys clean of people. Like, I couldn't let anybody in there because they're just so big and so massive. Even behind the gate, people are dumb. Like, they'll be sitting there leaning on the gate and you're running buffalo and elk through there. Like, people, they're wild animals still, and some people, like, I just didn't get it. And then they'd get mad at me because I wouldn't let them up there. I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't. Like, it's a safety thing. And so, but these people, like you said, that take pictures, a selfie out there and get, 3 feet from a bull elk, man, they're just dumb,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and when I worked there at the sale barn, we had one of the exotic sales. A guy had a water buffalo he brought in, and
oh wow.
And he had raised this mama, and it had a baby, and he'd raised it, known it from day one, and bottle raised it the whole 9 yards. And he got between that mama and that baby, and that water buffalo, it killed him right there in the arena.
Yep.
Right while I was at work. Yeah, that was, and he knew that. So, it just goes to show, like, even though it was tame, it's still wild. And he went between the mama and the baby. You don't do that. You know?
Yeah, you do not do that.
No, not even like domesticated animals. You just don't.
You don't even do that to like a regular cow and a calf.
No.
You don't even get close to the calf.
Yeah, even a dog. If you don't know a dog, and you go up to the cops, it might bite you. You just don't do that. But
how many times have people gotten bit? When their family dog has had puppies and they go to take the puppy away. Right. Happens all the time. All the time.
Sure does. Absolutely does. So anyway, it's just, people are just crazy and strange because, like, I just want to slap some smartness into them, but I guess,
common sense ain't so common, I'm telling you.
No, it's not. It's not. And people just don't realize, like, the size and how massive these animals are. And, they not see, they're not your neighbor's dog to go pet.
No. Well, it's just like people don't have respect for water. They have no idea the power that these animals have. They don't know the power that the water has. Less than a foot of water can float your truck away. If it's depending on how fast it goes.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Same. Yeah. Like you were talking about. Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't drive through floodwater. They tell you not to, but there's a lot of people that do. And then look, you're not only endangering yourself, but then you're endangering the rescuers that's trying to save your butt because you were stupid and drove through it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's just crazy. So anyway, man, we haven't talked anything weird.
No, we haven't.
Sorry, guys.
We've mentioned Bigfoot, but and stuff like that, but it's just kind of right past it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't understand the whole rash of people being stupid in Yellowstone. I don't get it.
I don't think it's just Yellowstone. I think it's just people in general.
Well, that's true, but I mean, a majority of them. It's like they rang the stupid bell up in Yellowstone for some reason for the tourists. I don't know. I really don't know. It's like, y'all bring all you stupid people up here to Yellowstone and pet the buffalo.
Right. No, I agree.
It's like every week you hear somebody getting, hurt or killed up there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, and same thing with I feel like a bear. Okay. So people leave their trash out and then, it attracts the bears. Well, you know what? And then, people are freaking out because there's a bear in the neighborhood. Well, you know what? Your dumbass left your trash out. And now it's your fault that bear's got to be put down, because of your stupidity. People need to just be smart about these type of things,
Leave the wild animals wild.
Right.
They don't need your help.
They don't need your food.
Nope.
Yeah.
Of course, here I am talking about that, and I feed squirrels on a daily basis. But
that's different. That is different.
Hummingbird. There was that woman in Colorado not long ago, a few years ago, and she was feeding a black bear, right? And I mean, the game wardens came over. They warned her, "Don't do this. Quit doing this." And all of her family could, stop. Yeah. And she wouldn't stop, and it killed her. Well,
what do you expect? And then I guess that they put that bear down too, didn't they?
I believe so. And you know what gets me is people act surprised when this stuff happens.
Right.
It's like, what'd you think?
Right.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, dumb shit like that pisses me off because, that's a death warrant to that bear.
Oh yeah,
he didn't doing that to it. It's going to keep coming back. Well, and then that makes me mad.
Yeah,
it does. It does.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry that she passed away and that she died. I definitely don't wish that, but still, that makes me
mad. But no surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like that feller, the grizzly man. What'd you expect to happen?
Yeah.
You not only got your idiot self killed. I'm sorry, but you not only got your idiot self killed. You got your girlfriend killed.
Yeah.
In a very horrific way. She, I mean, that was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah. They're just some, I don't know. Wild animals are wild for a reason, and even people, I learned so much working at that, doing the exotic sales and stuff. Even a zebra, they're meaner than shit.
Oh, hell yeah, they are.
Yeah. People want to breed them with horses and donkeys and, things like that. And man, you want to talk about something mean.
Yeah.
Try to break one of those.
Well, and as well as I do, you want something ornery, get a teasing stud. Those things, oh my gosh, you talk about ornery, man.
Oh yeah.
And them damn little Shetland ponies are probably the most ornery things they put on the planet.
Any pony. I don't like ponies. Ponies are they are,
I don't know what it is with Shetlands. They love to bite.
Yeah, they do.
I don't. And if you have never been bit by a horse,
it hurts.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. I had a colt bite. Our old colt. He bit me on my shoulder. That hurt. That's
where I got bit on the back of the shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just a colt. I couldn't imagine a full size horse. You know. Yeah, it was the one only time he ever did that though.
Well, me too. I mean, it was a damn Shetland pony. I had two of them. Yeah. And I had one was white and one was paint, and I called them Silver and Scout after the Lone Ranger's horses.
Yeah.
And Tonto horses. And I was leading Silver up through from the and I was a dumbass kid, but I was leading him by the lead rope, had the lead rope over my shoulder, and he was walking behind me from the barn, up from the barn. I was, taking him up to the house. I was going to ride him, and he reached up and bit me on the back of the shoulder. I thought, I thought somebody killing me.
Yeah.
I ran into the house. My daddy come out about half drunk. Have y'all seen a pattern here? My daddy being about half drunk. But anyway, he come out, and when he walked out of the house, that damn Shetland pony was eating his peaches out of his trees.
Yeah.
And he was mad because the damn thing bit me. But when he saw the thing eating the peaches out of his trees, that was it. Katie barred the door. And my dad was like 6'1", $165.
Yeah.
But he walked up and snatched that lead rope underneath that pony's chin and reared back and hit him between the eyes and dropped that Shetland pony down to his front knees.
Oh, yeah.
But he broke almost every bone in his hand when he did it, but he dropped that horse to his knees.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, I don't ever want that man mad at me. Never.
Yeah, them little ponies, man, they get attitudes and then some. That's for sure. Yeah. I'll stick with horses any day over pony.
Yeah.
We inherited 2 little ponies, little pulling ponies.
Oh yeah.
And well, one was the pony, but she was the mother to the little mini mule.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah, the mule wasn't broke to do anything, but the Rosie was the other one, was the miniature, and we ended up selling them to because I didn't want them. There's nothing we would do with them. So I mean, it was So we ended up selling them to some people that had some kids, and I just said the deal, they have to stay together because they've been together, So mule was just I guess a bonus pet, but they were friendly. But the one Rosie, she was buggy broke, so somebody had a little cart or something. She was.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
those are the only little miniatures I ever had.
I had a Welsh pony
one
time named Dolly.
Yeah,
and she was good. She was. I mean, she had a great temperament, and I mean, she'd love on you, the whole 9 yards, And she never even tried to bite anybody or anything.
Yeah.
And she got hit we found her dead out in the field. She got hit by lightning.
Oh, that's awful.
And we found she still had a big old mouthful of grass. It just, like that.
Got her quick.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, it's the best horse. Well, I can't say that. I've had a lot of good horses. One of the best horses I ever had. And I think I've told the story about her before. Her name was Clip Clop. Because that's how she said it when she walked, But she was half Belgian and half quarter horse.
Oh, wow.
That was a big freaking horse. I think she was like, I want to say 17, 18 hands high.
Wow.
Like that's a big horse. My brother-in-law was refurbishing, rebuilding this 55 Chevrolet truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had, of course, an outside working on it. Well, he was going to ride Clip Clop, and he brought her up to the house, and she was saddled and everything, but still had the lead rope on her. He had to go in the house for something, I don't know. But he tied her onto the bed of this truck by the lead rope. When he came back out of the house, she had got tired of waiting on him and just walked off with the truck.
Oh, wow.
And met him at the back door and had drugged this. The damn truck had flat tires on it. She had drugged this damn truck sideways all the way to the back door of the house.
Wow.
Just sitting there waiting on him like, where are you at?
That's hilarious. That's too funny. Yeah. I've had some really good horses too. I actually was raised with horses. Before I was born, my dad had horses. Yep. And my dad he used to do the rodeo circuit years and years ago. And my dad used to take care of Trigger.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my dad's had horses his whole life. And then my uncle had them. And so I was, I've been raised with them. And Had them forever, and I've had several accidents. I
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I had a really bad accident. I guess it's been well over 25 years ago, but it put me in ICU for 7 days, and it was off of a horse, and it was really really bad. And so I really honestly, what's that?
So that's a hell of a wreck.
Yeah, and honestly, I really don't give two shits about riding anymore. I pretty much don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just I'll do anything off the ground anymore. And I mean, I rode, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago, but it's just not my thing anymore at all.
I miss it. I miss it. We went, Boondocks was that Roy Rogers trigger? Yes.
Yes.
We went down to North Side, where I took y'all,
Mhm.
North Side of Fort Worth.
Yep.
And we took my grandson, and he's never been around, he's a city kid. He's never been around horses or anything. But we took him on a buggy ride, and we was being pulled by a big old Belgian,
Mm-hmm.
Named Sam.
Aw.
And I mean, I just did it just doing that buggy ride. I missed, it made me miss riding so much.
Yeah. We actually, I had a buggy horse, and he was pretty cool. I ended up selling him because I got to where I just didn't really want to do anything with him. I sold him to, Josie Wales, the movie, The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Oh, yeah.
I sold him to his like great grandson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Yeah. But because the area that we lived in, actually, Josie Wales is buried there in Rawlins, Missouri.
That's a grave I'd like to go see.
It's in an unknown location.
Of course.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. So I put pictures. I will show you pictures of my horses. I have Jules here. This is Jules. She is 6 years old, and she's actually so gentle. She's ended up being turned out to be a really good trail horse. She has the ugliest head ever, though. I think I
think she's pretty.
She's not a very pretty horse, in my opinion. She's a gray, first gray I ever had. I've never had a gray horse before, but she's just so good natured, and people, like the kids and stuff, are able to ride her. And then I have this horse Lady here. That's Lady.
She's pretty.
So we put her. Oh my God, we've had this horse for, let me think about this now, going on probably 15 years. And she was
a beautiful horse.
She is, when we got her, she was wild and crazy. And the guy, when we went to get her, Ray's like, I want that one. And he's like, you don't want that one. She's crazy. And she wasn't. She was untouched. And she was 5 years old when I got her. And so brought her home, and he broke her to ride. And she turned out to be the best horse. She really is just a great horse. And the kids ride her now. She's kind of old now. So we've kind of retired her. And that's where Jules comes in handy now. Like, she's the new trail horse. But, Lady, we let the kids ride her and stuff now. And then now this next one, I will not sell her. This is Possum. So Possum has been ridden by men her whole life. She only tolerates women. And that's why I love her, because she is such a bee. Truly. But it took her like years before she'd come up to me. And that's the truth. Like, she only liked men, but she was a show horse. We showed her, we won a lot of money, a lot of ribbons off of this horse. And she taught the kids really like what it's about, riding and showing. And so that's why I keep her. That horse will stay with us to her dying day. I also had her for about 15 years. So those are the three that I have now. Yeah. Let me get rid of the picture. Those are my three.
Well, those are pretty horses. I wish I had pictures of mine. I don't. But I had this one horse. He's a roan. Okay. And this is when we lived in town, but we still had acreage, right?
Yeah.
And So we had, and we kept, I think we had 2 horses back there. We kept in town with, and they had access all the way up to the back porch, right? And my mom, I was in elementary school when this happened. My mom we had hardwood floors, and, she swept the dirt right out the back door, right? That's what she did. And she opened the back door to sweep the dirt out. And his name was Chili. That was his. That was he was red. I mean, red. Well, for some odd reason, he decided he wanted to come in the house, and he pushed his way in the house. That's my mom.
That's
and
funny.
He went through the damn hat, chased him all the way through the house from the back door to the front door and out in the front yard. And his name from that point on, because she was, you chicken shit, you chicken shit, that was his name from then on.
So
Chicken
Amy
shit.
asked, red or blue roan?
Red. Red. And but yeah, that was so funny. I remember I was in the living room. here come Chili right through the living room, out the front door, like Mom right behind him.
That's hilarious.
Get out of here, get out of here.
That's too funny. I've had a lot of horses over the years too, because when we were hot and heavy into showing horses, at one time we had 22 head and a stud horse, and we bred and raised Missouri Foxtrotter horses. And then, I was raised with them. My dad had, like I said, horses my whole childhood too. So I've had a lot of horses over the years. Yeah. And I don't ride at all anymore. Not at all. I'll feed them. I'll brush them. I'll, lead them, whatever. That doesn't bother me. I just don't ride anymore.
Miranda asked, Krista, does BMR have a pair of the elephant PJs? No, he's actually got inchworm PJs. But anyway.
That's funny. Too funny. Well, we're coming up to the 1.5 hour mark, and I apologize, everybody. We didn't talk about anything weird. We just talked about native animals and horses in the conference.
It's a fun show. It's a fun show. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's nice to take a break from talking about the weird stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It absolutely is. It's yeah. It's been fun. And again, my horses are not here at my house. They're at my stepson's, and so I don't go see them a whole lot like I should. So that's all right. But I don't ride them, so I don't need to, right?
There you go.
They get taken care of every day. I buy their hay. I buy their grain. They see my money, put it that way, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They don't know who it's coming from.
They don't care either, really.
No, they don't. As long as they get it, they don't care.
Right. They don't care. So anyway, but we'll get off here, and I gotta drive tomorrow. I get to go to the Ray County Museum, and so I'll try to do a little live or something maybe from there tomorrow. And then tomorrow night I will try to be on BMR show. So
cool. Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. And Paul says he's sitting at a fire pit. Paul Baumgartner. Nice. Be nice. So, all right. Thank you, Tex, for filling in for Brandy. We appreciate it. Everybody, Brandy in your prayers, her mom, and my friend Aaron's, please keep them both in your prayers. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep. And until tomorrow, I guess we'll see everybody tomorrow night. And have a good weekend. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.